Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today I have the first place deck profile of my Satellarknight Burn from the Castle's winner box this past Sunday. So I'm going to go ahead and preface before I go into the deck profile that I decided to play this just last minute. It was a really janky idea and I thought I'd give it a try, and the burn factor did not really work very well for me, and I basically ended up siding out of it almost every game into just pure Satellarknights. So I'll give a standpoint of what I would swap some of the cards for what, and how certain cards worked for me on the day, and we'll just go from there. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. We got one Rigel. I absolutely recommend that you main one or side one of this guy in every Satellarknight deck ever. He is incredible. Was so good for me on the day. One Unukalhai. I built the deck with the resources I had with me, like last minute before the tournament. I only had one with me, so make do with what you got, I suppose. I would have played two, just to point that out. I had two Alsahms, and he was actually really good for me on the day. Burn or otherwise, he was just really good. His 1000 damage really sealed up a lot of games for me, so I'd probably say for a real build though, just cut one of the Alsahms for the second Unukalhai. So, two Vegas. This dude's just, he's one of the play starters, but I only like two, because he summons out of your hand, so he's not quite as good as this next guy, which is Altair, who summons out of the grave. So he gets plays going a lot easier and a lot better than Vega. You know, he does it without minusing or anything, because generally you Altair for Deneb, which we played 3 of. You know, the searcher of the deck. So, and that was it for the main deck monsters. I might, playing pure Satellars, I would probably main deck like one Thunder King, maybe some Veilers, I don't know. But onto the spells. One Raigeki, staple stuff, one Book of Moon, and one Soul Charge. This was just kind of for me on the day, honestly. I barely drew it, and I don't know if I hardly ever resolved it, or if it made much of a difference. So this is the one of 3 of. We got 3 MSTs, of course. Super good. I like just maining 3 MSTs in pretty much every deck, but regardless. And 3 Rotas, search along with the Nebs, so you know, consistency. You try to maximize it, although I don't play Upstart or anything like that too goofy. And so that was the spells and monsters. That wasn't very much, as we can see. So let's go ahead and get into half the deck, which is traps. We got 1 Vanities, helmets on, everybody. 1 Ring of Destruction, which is part of the burn, but it's also really good spot removal. I mained this and then sided Compulse, so 1 Bottomless, mostly for in case of Cleese, but it was using it against other things. The 1 Torrential and the 1 Solemn Warning, all powerhouse 1-ofs, all put in their own work on the day. Getting into 2-ofs, we get the burn cards, 2 Magic Cylinders. It was just kind of I don't remember if it won me any games, but it definitely helped to some extent. Although I'd probably say most of the time a Mirror Force or something probably would have been better, or even Fiendish Chain. I probably would have liked those better, or Veilers even. I mean, I don't know, just swapping them out for just a regular old Tellarknight build probably would have been better. And then this card, 2 Ceasefires. I really can't say much of anything because I literally never resolved it on the entire day. The only time I drew it was once, and it was destroyed during my end phase of the turn that I set it, so I couldn't activate it. So I literally never resolved it once. Can't really say if it would have been good or bad. So I'm kind of neutral on that. You can try it some more and see if you get it yourself. 2 Oasis. It's like Hollow Haunted, but it summons in defense, and it makes him a Warm, however you pronounce that type monster, which is kind of sucky because it means you can't go into Rangominiad with him and stuff like that. So that's why I only like it at 2. And summoning him in defense, I mean, you want to do it on their turn, but you don't want to do it on your turn when you're being aggressive. So, and sometimes you do want to summon him and attack on their turn. But I did play 2 Breakthroughs. That was the only effect negation aside from Alpha, and that kind of hurt me on the day. I really definitely could have used Veilers or Fiendish Chains in addition to that. Plus, of course, Chain you can bounce and spam with Trevor's and stuff. So 3 of those, 3 Alphas. Some people might go 2. I just super like 3, especially because for this build I was playing some extra Tellarknights, the extra Alsahms, and the Rigel in the main. So I figured, let's go ahead and play this. It's pretty much Never Dead, and it wasn't. And I will say this card absolutely just won me my Ritual Beast matchup. Like, every time I drew this card in the matchup, I won, and if I didn't draw it, I lost. Because it would just negate their steeds and stuff for me. Or even just like an ulti Canhawk's effect, just stop that altogether. But yeah, Triple Call Haunted for the last thing. So standard stuff, I suppose. We'll move on to the extra deck. We got 1 diamond, 2 Delteros. I think 2 is pretty necessary. I don't know if people play 1 or 2 or whatever, but I'm a fan of 2, so that's what I stick to. Same with Trevor, 2 Trevor. I did not play Ptolemaeus, and I regretted it greatly against Shadal's, because there were many times when I was not able to get 3 monsters out at a time to be able to make a Delteros or Trevor and then make the diamond, and I really would have rather have a Ptolemaeus to just go into the diamond easier. But I'll explain why I cut it at the last minute as we get further into the extra deck. But 1 diamond dire, just good spot removal, you know, staple stuff. Exciton, Lavalval chain. This was really good. I didn't really get to use it much, but when I did get to use it, it was of course good. And of course, there's a lot of talk of it possibly being banned or limited. You know, salty people being salty, but regardless of that, I personally don't think this card should be banned. And going to 1, I absolutely agree with this card going to 1. I think that would be a good settler, but I don't think it should be banned. That'd be a really poor decision in my opinion. But 1 Daigusto Emeral, 1 Castel, still staple stuff here. 1 Dweller, 1 Rhapsody, and then here's where I got just super janky because I just went over the top with the burn idea and kind of lost my mind. 3 Cowboys. So I should have only played 2. 2 would have still been good, would have fit the burn theme, but the 3rd slot definitely should have been a Ptolemaeus or something else. So I can't say that the burn idea was just absolutely horrible. I just probably played it wrong, more or less. So moving forward, I suppose if y'all want to make these changes that I'm discussing and try this deck out on your own, go for it. Let me know how it works for you if you do. But and then sideboard, kind of just a way to board out of the burn and into a regular Tellarknight deck, somewhat. 1 Thunder King, 1 Sirius, which I'd put Jar of Avarice, and then I swapped it for this, thinking, oh, well, if I'm going to do Jar of Avarice, I could just do this. Well, every time I wanted to board into this, I boarded out of my Regals and Alsahms, so I didn't want to board into this. So it should have been a Jar of Avarice, just random thing to throw out there. But 2 Maxis, 2 Effect Veilers, and 2 Lancias, bunch of hand traps, because I wasn't maining any whatsoever. I also had Honest in the build at one point, and then I cut it at the last minute too. I don't remember for what. I think, oh, that was for the Magic Cylinders. That was a bad choice. Probably should have just kept the Honest, but oh well. Live and learn. 2 Shared Rides for Necrozin, just because I just really love the artwork of this card, and I felt like throwing it in my sideboard. There's really no other reason other than that, but 1 Compulse, 2 Debunks. This was actually really good. Really glad I did it because I ended up playing Volcanics in the last round in Swiss and just straight negated and banished his Scattershot and ruined it for the rest of the game. So that was really cool. Definitely helped me out there. And just I think it's a really strong card right now. I think it's fairly underrated. I don't know. I mean, some people certainly recognize it, but I think it's super good versus like you can use it against Shadal's, Burning Abyss, just I mean anything really. There's so many things. Necroz, and then 2 Fairy Winds were the last cards. But so yeah, like I said, I can't say a whole lot against the deck because I didn't draw my Ceasefires, barely made Cowboys, barely did a lot of things. I did, and I probably just built / ran the deck a little poorly. I'm not a Tellarknight main exactly, but yep. So that's the deck for anybody who was interested, and you are welcome to copy it, try it out, and make any adjustments that I said or that you want to try. And if you do, let me know in the comments how it works for you. So thanks, and I'll see y'all later.